We were shooting the scene, and I was properly upset, I thought, and I was getting my stuff together and walked out in the hallway, and he looked at me and he slapped me as hard as he could.
Who? Dustin?
Dustin.
What the?
She's been called the greatest actress of all time, but not everyone is clapping for Meryl Streep. While Hollywood often showers her with awards and praise, behind the curtain, some stars can't stand her. From bitter rivalries to accusations of arrogance, a surprising list of celebrities have openly admitted, or hinted, that they just hate Meryl Streep. Katherine Hepburn. It seems even Hollywood royalty wasn't immune to professional jealousy. According to Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer A. Scott Berg, who spent 2 decades in conversation with Katherine Hepburn, the legendary actress harbored some surprisingly sharp opinions about her peers. When Berg released his biography in 2003, just months after Hepburn's passing, readers were stunned to learn that the star of the Philadelphia story held an intense dislike for none other than Meryl Streep. As reported by the Sydney Morning Herald, Hepburn had a mixture of admiration and disdain for different Hollywood figures. She praised John Travolta and was intrigued by Michael Jackson, but when it came to Streep, she dismissed her entirely. Hepburn allegedly felt that Streep was too cerebral and over-reliant on technique, a criticism suggesting that she found Streep's performances more calculated than genuine. For someone like Hepburn, who built her career on raw charisma, individuality, and emotional honesty, this view might reflect a deep difference in acting philosophy. Interestingly, Hepburn was far more supportive of other actresses, voicing approval for Julia Roberts and Melanie Griffith. Yet she didn't stop at critiquing Streep. Another Hollywood powerhouse, Glenn Close, also fell victim to Hepburn's candor, with the veteran star allegedly mocking her for having big, fat, ugly feet. By the time of Hepburn's death in 2003, Streep had already earned 13 Academy Award nominations, surpassing Hepburn's own remarkable 12 nominations and 4 wins. Perhaps the revelation wasn't just about style. It may also have reflected a generational rivalry. Hepburn had long been the unrivaled queen of the screen, and Streep's meteoric rise could have symbolized a passing of the torch that Hepburn wasn't entirely ready to embrace. Susan Sarandon. They say if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But Susan Sarandon has never been one to hold back. The outspoken Thelma and Louise star made headlines when she decided to air her grievances about Meryl Streep in an interview with Fame magazine, as reported by the Chicago Tribune. While Sarandon insisted she wasn't jealous, her words suggested more than a hint of frustration at Hollywood's treatment of Streep. "Everything goes to Meryl first," Sarandon complained, adding with a sharp edge, "It's the law." I am one of those who think Meryl is a great actress. I don't elevate her to the goddess level, but she does get first crack at all the women's roles. If other women had the same shots she's had, they could equal her. The sentiment struck a chord, especially at a time when conversations about equity and opportunity for actresses were heating up. But it also came across as a rare, open criticism of Streep, who has long been regarded as untouchable in the industry. If that weren't enough, Sarandon upped the ante by taking a personal jab, declaring, "If her household runs as perfectly as her press would have us believe, I'll slash my throat." The remark shocked readers, blurring the line between professional rivalry and personal dig. Still, Sarandon's own career hardly suggests she was sidelined. With 81 award nominations and 55 wins, including an Oscar for Dead Man Walking, her resume is one most actors would envy. Yet her candid remarks revealed a simmering frustration that the industry's near-automatic deference to Streep often left other talented actresses feeling overlooked. Rose McGowan. The Harvey Weinstein scandal in 2017 sent shockwaves through Hollywood, unraveling decades of abuse and silencing. Among those who spoke out most fiercely was Rose McGowan, who accused the powerful producer of raping her during the 1990s. Her voice became one of the central rallying cries of the #MeToo movement, and emotions across the industry ran at an all-time high. That same year, the Golden Globes became a stage for silent protest. Meryl Streep, alongside numerous other actresses, wore black gowns to signal solidarity against sexual harassment. While the gesture was praised by many, McGowan dismissed it as hollow. In a since-deleted but widely reported tweet, she lashed out, "Actresses like Meryl Streep, who happily worked for the pig monster, are wearing black at Golden Globes in a silent protest. Your silence is the problem. Maybe you should all wear Marchesa." That last jab cut particularly deep. Marchesa was the fashion label co-founded by Weinstein's then-wife, Georgina Chapman, and invoking it carried an extra sting, insinuating hypocrisy and complicity. Faced with the public attack, Streep broke her silence. Through her publicist, Leslie Dart, she issued an exclusive statement to HuffPost, writing, "It hurt to be attacked by Rose McGowan in banner headlines this weekend, but I want to let her know I did not know about Weinstein's crimes. Not in the 90s when he attacked her, or through subsequent decades when he proceeded to attack others. I wasn't deliberately silent. I didn't know Donald Trump." Few Hollywood speeches have stirred up as much political drama as Meryl Streep's 2017 Golden Globes address. Accepting the Cecil B. DeMille Award, Streep used her platform not to celebrate herself, but to call out what she saw as dangerous behavior from then-President-elect Donald Trump. She recalled a moment from the campaign trail in 2015 when Trump appeared to mock disabled New York Times reporter Serge Kovaleski at a rally in South Carolina. "There was one performance this year that stunned me," Streep said in her speech. "Not because it was good, there was nothing good about it. It was that moment when the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter. It kind of broke my heart when I saw it, and I still can't get it out of my head. Because it wasn't in a movie. It was real life." Her words struck like a lightning bolt, drawing standing ovations in the room and sparking fierce debate outside of it. Trump, never one to let a public critique slide, fired back the very next morning on Twitter. He blasted Streep as one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood and dismissed her comments, claiming she doesn't know me but attacked last night at the Golden Globes. Yet the irony of Trump's rant didn't go unnoticed. Just 2 years earlier, in a 2015 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he had been asked to name actresses he admired. His response? "Meryl Streep is excellent. She's a fine person, too." The whiplash between admiration and condemnation painted a clear picture of how quickly his opinion shifted once Streep turned her stage into a pointed political statement. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts has long been one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, but with that level of fame comes an endless swirl of gossip. Back in 2014, while reporters were waiting to interview the Pretty Woman actress, the chatter took a sharp turn. According to The Telegraph, one journalist whispered, "She doesn't like women in general," prompting another to fire back with an even juicier tidbit, "She and Meryl Streep can't stand each other." The speculation seemed to trace back to a National Enquirer insider who claimed tensions brewed on the set of August, Osage County, where both Roberts and Streep starred. According to the source, Roberts allegedly pushed for the film's ending to be rewritten so that her character would have more screen time, supposedly at Streep's expense. Julia can't get enough of herself on the big screen. When she got the chance, she threw Meryl under the bus for more screen time, the insider alleged. If that wasn't biting enough, Roberts was also accused of delivering what could only be described as a backhanded compliment to director John Wells about her co-star. Supposedly, she said, "I love her to death, but she looks so sad on screen, it's a downer." A remark like that, half praise, half criticism, only added fuel to the whispers that the two women weren't exactly best friends. Still, Roberts has never admitted to any animosity. In fact, in that very same Telegraph interview, she appeared to smooth things over, offering glowing words about working with Streep. To get to watch her up close and to see her be a real-life person, it was a privilege. Whether the tension was real or simply another Hollywood exaggeration, the rumors were enough to make audiences wonder. Were two of cinema's most iconic women quietly locked in a battle for the spotlight? Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone has never been shy about speaking her mind, but in 2010 she left fans and tabloids alike puzzled with a strange comment about Meryl Streep. In an interview with Tatler magazine, as reported by The Telegraph, the Basic Instinct star was asked why she thought Streep seemed to land so many coveted roles in Hollywood. Stone's answer started off sounding like genuine praise. "Because she looks like a woman we can all relate to," she explained. "I look at her and I think, I'm chasing my kids, I've moved my parents in with me, I'm coping with food spills. That looks like me in real life." So far, so flattering. But then Stone dropped a line that made jaws drop. "Meryl looks like an unmade bed, and that's what I look like." To me, that looks true. Unsurprisingly, the remark set off a frenzy in the celebrity press. Was Stone insulting Streep's looks, or was she simply trying to highlight her relatability in an offbeat way? As the comment made the rounds, Stone quickly moved to clarify. Speaking to Us Weekly, she insisted her intentions were being twisted. "It is not okay with me for someone to take a statement I made with good-natured intent and to try and make it into something politically incorrect. My love and support for what she represents for women right now is extraordinarily important." Crisis averted, at least somewhat. Still, many couldn't quite shake the odd imagery of Streep as an unmade bed, especially since the actress is known for her timeless elegance and commanding screen presence. After all, this is the same woman who embodied icy perfection as Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada, a character who would surely laugh off such a comparison with her own cutting line. "Don't be ridiculous. Everybody wants to be us." Donald Trump Jr. When Meryl Streep delivered her fiery 2017 Golden Globes speech, criticizing then-President-elect Donald Trump, the backlash was immediate. And unsurprisingly, one of the first to rush to his father's defense was Donald Trump Jr. Much like his dad, the businessman and political figure took to Twitter, accusing the Oscar-winning actress of sickening hypocrisy. But what exactly was he referring to? Trump Jr. pointed back 5 years to the 2012 Golden Globes, when Streep accepted the award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama for her portrayal of Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady. In her speech, Streep jokingly thanked God, a line that, according to those in the know, was actually a nod to producer Harvey Weinstein, who at the time was still one of Hollywood's most powerful figures. With Weinstein's downfall fresh in the public mind by 2017, the reference was recast in a damning light. "She tries to be a moral compass for others. No thanks," Trump Jr. tweeted, adding fuel to the fire by linking a Snopes article that compiled video clips of Streep praising not only Weinstein, but other controversial Hollywood figures as well. His move was clearly designed to frame her as complicit in the very culture of silence and abuse she appeared to be condemning. The criticism didn't stop there. According to The Guardian, Streep's 2012 speech had already been resurrected by right-wing detractors, who plastered posters around Los Angeles with her face obscured by the words, "She knew." By dredging it up again, Trump Jr. ensured that her attempt to take the moral high ground in 2017 was met with renewed skepticism and scorn. Karl Lagerfeld. It's safe to say Meryl Streep won't be sitting front row at Chanel anytime soon. Back in 2017, the actress found herself in the middle of a very public spat with the fashion house's late creative director, Karl Lagerfeld, and the fallout quickly spiraled into one of Hollywood's more unexpected feuds. According to Lagerfeld, Streep had commissioned a Chanel gown for the Academy Awards and even requested adjustments to its design, which the fashion icon said he gladly made. But just days later, he claimed, the order was abruptly canceled. Speaking to WWD, Lagerfeld alleged he received a call from a Streep representative saying, "Don't continue the dress. We found somebody who will pay us." He went on to complain about Hollywood's award season politics, claiming the dress was valued at around €100,000, $105,000. Then came the stinger. We give them dresses. We make the dresses, but we don't pay. A genius actress, but cheapness also, no? Naturally, the accusation that Streep had ditched Chanel in favor of a designer who would pay her to wear their work caused a media firestorm. Streep's camp quickly and firmly denied the story, labeling Lagerfeld's account as false. As people reported, the backlash grew so intense that Chanel itself was forced to clarify the situation, admitting Streep had never formally committed to wearing the dress in the first place. But Streep wasn't done. She issued her own statement, blasting Lagerfeld's remarks. Karl Lagerfeld, a prominent designer, defamed me in an important industry publication. That publication printed this defamation, unchecked. I do not take this lightly, and Mr. Lagerfeld's generic statement of regret for this controversy was not an apology. He lied, they printed the lie, and I am still waiting. Nicole Kidman. When HBO announced that Meryl Streep was joining the cast of Big Little Lies for Season 2, fans were thrilled. But according to the rumor mill, not everyone in the cast was celebrating. Streep signed on to play the sharp-tongued mother-in-law of Nicole Kidman's character, and whispers quickly surfaced that the addition of Hollywood's most decorated actress sparked behind-the-scenes tension. As OK USA, via New Idea, reported, Kidman allegedly felt threatened by Streep's arrival. One insider claimed, "She's terrified that Meryl is going to steal her spotlight. She's freaking out." The gossip seemed particularly juicy, given that the two actresses had previously worked together harmoniously on The Hours back in 2002, with no reports of friction at the time. Still, the speculation didn't stop there. Life and Style quoted another source who suggested Streep herself had sensed Kidman's unease, claiming, "The two have really gotten into it." Whether true or not, the alleged rift quickly became tabloid fodder, especially once the topic of salaries was brought into the conversation. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Kidman and Reese Witherspoon were paid between $250,000 and $350,000 per episode for Season 1. Streep, however, was reportedly offered a staggering $800,000 per episode right out of the gate. Although both Kidman and Witherspoon secured massive raises for Season 2, allegedly hitting the $1 million mark per episode, they had to prove the show's success before commanding those figures. The suggestion that Streep could swoop in and instantly out-earn them may have added fuel to the gossip fire. Of course, it's worth remembering that both Kidman and Witherspoon also served as executive producers, while Streep's role was strictly on-screen. And considering that much of the show's second season revolved around the fraught relationship between their characters, including that unforgettable slap scene, it's possible that fans simply blurred fiction with reality. Dustin Hoffman. The long-standing tension between Meryl Streep and Dustin Hoffman is one of Hollywood's most notorious behind-the-scenes stories, dating back to their collaboration on Kramer vs. Kramer in 1979. The film, which would go on to win 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, was Streep's breakout role. But while the performance cemented her as one of the greatest talents of her generation, the experience of filming was far from glamorous. According to Michael Schulman's 2016 unauthorized biography of Streep, later expanded upon in a Vanity Fair piece, the friction stemmed largely from Hoffman's extreme method acting approach. Early in production, he allegedly slapped Streep across the face during a take without warning her beforehand. It was her very first film role, her first take on set, and the shock left her rattled. Years later, in a 2018 New York Times interview, Streep confirmed the incident, carefully framing it as overstepping. She explained, "This was my first movie, and it was my first take in my first movie, and he just slapped me. It was overstepping." But the slap was only the beginning. Hoffman reportedly pushed even further by making a cruel remark about Streep's late partner, John Cazale, who had died of lung cancer just 2 years earlier. The comment struck a nerve, leaving her deeply shaken. And when Streep attempted to contribute ideas to restructure a scene, Hoffman lashed out again, dismissing her with the biting remark, "Meryl, why? Don't you stop carrying the flag for feminism and just act the scene." Though their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and both actors won Oscars for their roles, the relationship between them behind the camera never recovered. Once filming wrapped, they went their separate ways, maintaining a chilly distance for decades. Easton Ellis. Easton Ellis has always thrived on stirring the pot, and when it came to Meryl Streep, he didn't hold back. Best known for his provocative novels like Less Than Zero and the infamously graphic American Psycho, which sparked outrage and even death threats in the early 90s, Ellis has long relished controversy. But in 2017, instead of shocking readers with fiction, he took aim at one of Hollywood's most revered figures following her headline-making Golden Globe speech. When Streep accepted the Cecil B. DeMille Award, she used her platform not to reminisce about her career, but to deliver a passionate critique of then-President Donald Trump. Her remarks, widely praised in liberal circles, were seen by many as a bold political stand. Yet Ellis was unimpressed. On his podcast, he blasted her for what he called a display of childish meltdowns by Hollywood elites. Instead of talking about all the filmmakers she had worked with, he said, Streep used this moment to go on an anti-Trump rant for 10 minutes on national TV. For some reason, I started thinking about the cost of Meryl Streep's gown at the Golden Globes and the $30 million apartment she had recently put on the market in Greenwich Village. Liberalism used to be about freedom, but now is about a kind of warped moral authority. The backlash was immediate. Critics accused Ellis of aligning himself with Trump supporters, painting him as a conservative mouthpiece. But Ellis wasn't having it. In a follow-up podcast, he clarified his position, insisting he wasn't a Republican or even politically engaged. "I want to state that I am not a Republican. I am not interested in politics because I make fun of hysterical liberals. And why shouldn't I?" Classic Streep. At the end of the day, when it comes to poking fun at Meryl Streep, no one does it better than the woman herself. With a staggering 21 Academy Award nominations and 3 wins to her name, Streep is acutely aware of how her dominance in awards season can stir envy, or at least eye rolls, from her Hollywood peers. That self-awareness shone brightly in 2012 when she took the stage at the Oscars to accept the Best Actress award for her uncanny portrayal of Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady. Rather than bask in solemn gratitude, Streep opened with a wink at her own reputation. "When they called my name, I had this feeling I could hear half of America going, 'Oh no! Oh, come on, why? Her? Again!' The room erupted with laughter, but it was the gesture that followed that sealed the moment. Channeling her icy alter ego Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada, she gave a casual flick of the wrist and added, 'But, whatever.' It was classic Streep, sharp, witty, and completely unbothered. What could have been read as arrogance from anyone else landed instead as pure charm. Her ability to laugh at her own legacy, to cut through the weight of her unmatched career with humor, is exactly what endears her to fans and colleagues alike. Streep has spent decades transforming into queens, cooks, mothers, and monsters, commanding the screen no matter the role. Yet moments like her 2012 speech remind us that behind the legendary performances is a woman who doesn't take herself too seriously, even when the rest of the world does. For audiences, the joy isn't just in who she plays, but in the thrill of watching Meryl Streep, a performer so singular she can even turn her own superstardom into the punchline. What do you think about celebrities who don't like Meryl Streep? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.